Yes, we are live again. Now we're back. Hello. Some questions. Yes, ask questions.
Origin of the Beast. Will you remind me of what that incantation does?
Yes.
I was gonna say I've googled these things. These are post Google questions.
On the origin of the beast. Your appearance changes to that of another random creature of the same race of which you have interacted with in the last 6 months.
Okay, that's cool.
Turns you into a random human that you've met in the last 6 months. Yes.
That's
I can't choose?
No.
Okay.
But you are on the run. You need to sneak into a place.
Right.
You need to pass yourself. You become another
Pass
person.
off as someone else.
Yeah.
What about the best defense?
Alright.
I'm gonna roll that. I'm gonna roll that it also allows you to know like surface level things. Oh, what is this?
Lorna.
Shortbread cookies.
What are you doing?
I don't think you can.
He was doing a bit.
Yeah, he's doing a bit. Is that advertising?
That's advertising. That's advertising, baby.
That's show business.
That's your business.
We'll take $100,000, please.
Cookie.
Sorry, treats are pretty good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're playing games. Games and treats go hand in hand.
Holla.
I don't know anybody who's like, let's put a camera on our faces and then start eating.
Push play. Oh, you guys want some cookies?
I feel like I'm eating the whole time. It's not a show. I'm just snacking.
Just
That's
snacking.
what we
We're
do.
working.
We're just chilling. Did I ask you about the best defense yet?
No. But I'm glad you did.
It turns you into a random person.
Right.
The best defense is when the book flies out of your hand and protects you, giving you a +2 to your AC.
Okay.
Has a bonus action?
No, it just does it. Just fire.
All the time?
There are certain things that if I just passed it, they'll just do it because they're part of the book. They don't take up the spell slot.
No, they take an action to activate those.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. They take an action. Okay. But not a slot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It lasts for a minute, and you don't provoke attack of opportunities.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Because if someone goes to hit the book, just like
Right.
knocks their blade out of the way as you're running around. It's just like flying around you.
I love that.
A knowledge is power grants me advantage on a skill check.
One skill check in the next hour.
Okay.
Okay, this is pretty dope.
It's like you turn into the page and it has knowledge pertaining to the thing that you need.
Have it soon too.
And even though we role played it a little heavy, it doesn't actually like. It won't actually like. I was just trying to like relay the information in universe kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys decided to head south instead, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, we're just like avoiding danger.
Cool, cool.
Like,
No.
this session.
I want you to go ahead and make another stealth check, just because a little time has passed.
Because you hate us.
Well, now you're on the move away. Now you know what the dangers are. The bears are within sight line. They're only distracted because they're gnawing on a bone, but not like a big hunk of meat or anything.
What'd you roll?
Use a hero point.
What'd you roll?
It's a natural 6.
Oh.
I rolled a nat 1.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Ugh.
Woo, not 20
Oh,
this
fuck.
time. I'll take it.
Oh shit.
Tight. All I rolled was a 30.
Sorry to ruin that.
Aw. Great.
What'd you roll?
22.
Okay. What'd you roll?
37.
7?
You can have an inspiration if you want it, or we can have a moment here.
I mean,
Or we can fight these bears.
Let's have a moment here.
Fuck that.
I'll spend one of mine.
I imagine that giant's gonna fucking. If he like stomps on us, we're doomed. It's probably bigger than that other thing was.
12?
That's a little.
Full
better.
disclosure, I run giants bigger than they are in the books, because I think they're too small.
Oh, cool.
Oh god.
I love that.
Great.
Well, like, you wouldn't all be able to stand in its footprint.
Normally?
Yeah. Fuck that. It's not a giant. It's not a giant. You don't stand in its footprint.
How tall is something whose footprint we fit in? Did I say that wrong?
No, I completely understood. As big as this room, basically.
Probably 20 to 30 feet tall.
Proportionally, that's about 7 times my
Well, the
size.
bears
Yeah.
are perfectly content with their bones, and even though you do cause a little bit of just sound from the stone slipping under your feet, you look back and they kind of like peek over, but it's being kind of playful and it's just kind of enjoying itself. So it also in the other, it's not like you weren't like, oh, look, a bear. That might have startled.
Oh my God! Look at the
So-
size of those bears.
So do you guys want to head further south, or do you want to investigate? On second thought, investigate the center room,
What's the center room?
We haven't gone in there.
that giant chamber.
I'm like peeking.
Oh, no, yeah, what is
Alright.
going on in there? Is it
Alright.
a nest? I'm worried
Well,
it's a nest.
you can from where you're at right now, instead of going south, you guys, all of these tunnels all kind of open out into this big center chamber. So as you guys are going up, you kind of see that you're going north and kind of east and circling around this chamber. So if you go south, it will circle around it. And everywhere you go, you're passing little passageways that are all on one side that you can kind of tell lead to this big open space that you can't really see a lot of because you don't have a lot of light. And she can see probably the most out of anyone. So do you guys want to you want to go investigate the center area now?
Sure.
Cool. As you navigate through one of these smaller chambers, roll me a perception.
18.
16.
17.
You all notice that this chamber that you walk into, that the limestone ground, that there is a like dead bat that is on the ground. And before you step into the room all the way, you realize the bat's not on the ground so much as it's in the ground because it's sinking into this silt pit. It's a quicksand trap. So you guys all kind of like step like right before you, and it looks like motionless rock. It's this like you wouldn't know except that there's a slight ripple around where this dead bat is now. It stopped fighting. It's just finally drowned and it's starting to like get sucked into. It's a little too small to be pulled under because of the way that these things work.
Jesus
Just enough to kill it, but not enough to like absorb it. You guys can make your way around the edge of this room by going half your speed and kind of like hugging the wall, or you guys can you can go back and try another tunnel.
I think we can walk around it. I'll try to walk around it.
So there's like other openings on the other side of this room, basically.
You have to go further south, and then you can try another entryway to the center, or you guys can get up against the side of the room, go half speed. You won't even have to make a check. I don't think there's any danger if you guys want to push. There's.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. You just need to be keeping an eye out for these silt pits because that's a common feature of this area. So it's one of the main like hazards of the land. They're not really traps. They're just things that are everywhere. As you guys kind of push around the corner here, this room you're in has a natural column dividing it kind of into two tiny little tunnels, just big enough for you guys to fit through, and it allows you to kind of pop your heads out in two sets so you can kind of get on either side of it. And this center space with just a little bit of your light, Minerva can see that what seems to be like a sloped wall is actually a plateau. So since she can see 120 feet up, she can see all the way up. So just wait for her to come back. As you guys kind of pop your head out into the center area, your dark vision allows you to see all the way to the top of this chamber, and she sees something crazy. So there are two things. About 120 feet away from you on the long curve, you can see his head over, like, you can see him walking. There is a giant in this room. There's a stone giant. It's walking away from you. It's looking it's kicking over rocks. It's got a big stick with it, and it's pushing. They're all like shells and bones, and you see like old drow armor. This whole area is just like, it would be painful to walk barefoot through. There's so much like shards and rocks. He's also like looking for stones. He's just looking for stuff, but he's all the way on the other side of the chamber. You can also see all the way up this sloped room that it isn't a wall, but rather like a plateau. And then on this plateau, there is an object that at first you can't make out, but it's this 20-foot tall, 20-foot wide object that's floating. And it seems to be floating on this like metal basin with this mithril like spire, this upside down spire that's kind of floating. And then when your eyes kind of adjust and the darkness kind of fills in, you see that it's a miniature castle. It's like almost a dollhouse sized castle. It's this 20-foot tall miniature castle floating up there. And roll a does anyone speak giant?
Dang it. Not in this one. Actually.
No.
I was gonna laugh at you if you picked.
You can if you want to roll a nature or a survival, if you have either of those skills. Does anyone have nature or survival? No. Okay. Never mind.
Shit. Rogue.
No, it's fine. So that's what's up in this space, and you can see that there are multiple little tunnels. So if you're real quiet, I mean, it's gonna be really hard to sneak in this area with the giant kind of present right there, because he's kind of patrolling this area without knowing it.
Alright, can we sneak him back out?
But yeah, you can definitely come back the way you came if you want to.
How far away is he from me?
He's like 120 feet away, so he would probably take him his full turn of actions to run towards you guys, but he could probably get to you in that time. They're much, because they're bigger. They just, he just has a larger stride. But you guys cannot see this, so I like in our head, it's like I'm visualizing. I'm not visualizing all the stuff that she sees. I'm having moments where I cut to her in my head and I see the grayscale and see the room, but the rest of you guys are just huddled around this 20-foot of light, and she's like, "There's a giant at the end of this chamber," and you're about to walk. She's like, "Don't walk in there. There's nothing but broken shell and armor pieces." Like she's explaining all this, and you guys are like, "What?" And it's this, and it's very cold and kind of open. So even though it feels like you're kind of locked in with these creatures, it's this big open vibe to this level because the walls are super high and the light seems to be eaten by the darkness.
He can't see the light over here?
He's looking the other way, and you guys are see. There's still enough. You guys are kind of poking your heads through this like
What
cutaway.
is the light situation in this room if we don't have a light?
Well, it's dark. It's
pitch black.
Yeah,
He has dark vision?
he must.
I am so butthurt right now. We have to leave.
Can I
He's
see
gonna
his
stomp
hands?
me. What?
Can I see his hands?
Yes.
Well, is there anything in this room we want? No.
Yeah, why are we coming in here?
You looking for a
Just to
butt
kill
kicking?
it?
Well, there's a floating.
Don't
Oh, yeah,
have
there's
to.
There's a floating castle
there's
thing
a
up there. Yeah, there's
castle.
something
There's
crazy up
there
there.
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
important.
How high is that?
If you are
We can't see
interested,
that.
she can see that.
How high is that?
It is.
Can I ask her? Does she know?
She will tell you, and I will tell you. They are 90 feet ledges. Yeah, it's 180 foot diametrical spherical cavern, so you can't even see the top of this place. That's how tall it is. Yeah. 90 feet ledges. I'm gonna say that because of the way that this stone is worked, you guys could climb it for sure. It would not be. It's not natural. Remember, I said it was either worked with by hand or by really rudimentary explosions or magic. So it's gonna be like free soloing without hand, like, you know, it's not like a natural. I would say you would rate this a medium hard climb. So I'm gonna make you
10
make.
pitons.
Huh?
I have 10 pitons.
Yeah, but
And
that's.
I climb ahead and set these pitons and give them.
I mean, you can set one piton, one per. Or piton? How is it said?
I say I'm.
Piton? I'm gonna say piton. We'll just declare it's piton. You can probably do one every 6 seconds. As soon as you start hammering.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that guy's. That's a good plan. You can definitely do that if it weren't for the giant in the room.
No, yeah,
I
that's a bad idea.
feel like
Dell would think of it and then quickly dismiss it after.
I could.
These are tasty.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
fucking.
I need another one.
delicious. They're so good. I got a couple options spell-wise. Darkness,
I don't want to know.
because only I can see in it. He can't see,
Yeah.
and
Can
I
you
can
cast
tell you
darkness
kind of
on
what
us?
to go.
Okay.
But then
Thanks,
he'll
Amy.
also be able to follow my voice. So
We
do you
can
have like
whisper.
deafness?
We can
Damn
whisper.
it,
Yeah,
no.
give me one moment.
I
We
don't.
can
We're
whisper
really-
to each other.
Yeah. Also, I have that sickening radiance thing, because I feel like being a cave person, that's probably a weak point of his. I don't know for sure, but
I have daylight to spell and just cast it on him and see what that does.
None of you guys know anything about giants. It's so funny. We have like.
I was gonna say, can I roll an Arcana maybe to see how wise this giant is, or I know stone giants to be?
It'll be an insight.
Metagame.
You can't even
Stone
see this guy.
giants are smart.
You
You know what I mean?
intelligent.
They're
We can talk
intelligent
to it.
creatures.
You
We can
can't.
talk to
You can't do that because you can't even see it. It's so far away.
But she told us that they're stone giants.
Yeah, but you can't roll. An insight is reading someone's body language. Like, you want to know how wise he is? Like, from hearing about him? No.
it. Hearing
I
that
didn't know if I already
exists.
know things about stone giants. Are they smart creatures or are
I
they
asked
dumb
earlier.
creatures?
I asked earlier when I was asking if anyone had a new giant or had a survival or a
I see.
nature.
Okay.
You can roll an Arcana.
I've already made that check though. Yeah, I see.
No.
Okay.
No one made that check. Do you have those things?
Do you have
No.
Arcana?
Yes, I do. I have Arcana.
Well,
I do
that's
not
not-
have nature or survival.
That's not what I'm. Yeah, that's fine. But you haven't. No one's made that check. Is my point. So if you want to try to make it as an Arcana check, that's fine. I'd go for it.
What do I? Okay.
Just add your Arcana to it.
Okay, that was pretty bomb.
28.
It's a tasty treat. It was really dope.
What?
28.
28. Yeah. You're like, well, I don't really know anything about giants, unfortunately. And then you open up the book, and the page you flip to is just like covered in like a full drawing, like a pencil drawing of a stone giant, and it's got a whole like readout of like stone giant like tendencies and like specifically the plans about these stone giants. So, like,
Great.
Great. What are they?
these are Hallister's notes about these stone giants. He purposely.
Knowledge is power.
Start over.
Well, she's got his notebook, and as she uses it, and after their conversation, she finds that more and
We
more.
already talked about you not dropping bombs on me while I'm eating my Tim Tam.
That you Tim Tam at the table. That's
That's a risk you take.
that's a risk you take, Timmy.
That's
Tim
a good
Tammy?
book. That's a
Um,
good book.
It is a good book.
You're
so
welcome.
it says that
It's a
he-
magic book.
it's
No,
a very
Dell
short.
destroyed her other weapon.
It's a very short
Her other
footnote,
magical items.
Oh, yeah.
and it says that basically that
Totally did.
he herded these stone giants in this area to protect. The name is Magoth, or like Mad Goth, Maggoth, Magoth's castle. So
Magoth's castle up there.
yeah, so this level is, and you remember reading something earlier that this is this level is referred to as Magoth's castle.
I don't think I got that one though.
No, I'm just telling you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm telling you that's how you're gleaning it in the moment.
Oh shit! So that thing up there is
Mega.
fucking crazy.
What's in it? What's in that castle?
I don't know.
I certainly want to know what's in that castle.
You know that Magoth is a wizard of some notorious note. You know that he's supposedly ancient, so...
So the stone giants are here to protect this castle.
They don't know that, though. The other thing that Hallister says in his handwriting, kind of cheekily, is that he put a very funny curse on them. The one they'll never forget. And then that's all it says. And then it has some other like basic stats about stone giants. How deft they are at throwing rocks. How they are not like... You can talk to them, but they tend to think of topsiders as like dream apparitions. They believe that the physical world is a dream state.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Alrighty. So I say we turn some lights on,
Yeah.
and I fly up there with my cloak.
Yeah.
Because I just remembered I have a cloak at the back.
There you go.
And I can see shit.
You also have a rope.
I also have all of our rope that we have in our packs.
But you said they're cursed? That's what Hallister's book said?
Mm-hmm.
Alistair's book
What
says the
if I-
curse, but he doesn't say how.
What if we try to remove the curse?
Possible.
Like lesser restoration.
What if the
I have removed curse.
Well,
Yeah, so
you
do
do
I.
know. You
But
know. You know from that interaction you have with Hallister that undoing a thing that may have a negative effect.
That's what I was worried about.
That
It's
would.
probably helping us more than it's hurting us, whatever their curse is.
Not necessarily that.
Or you mean
Yeah.
like undoing the magic?
Yeah.
Negative
Because
effect.
she knows for a fact that he put them here for a reason. So undoing the curse might upset him. So
I'm not worried about upsetting him.
yeah, that's fine. You can.
well, you should
You
be.
can do whatever you want.
I've seen him. He's fucking crazy. He's insane.
He is fucking
He's
crazy.
completely insane.
So you want to fly up there? You want to throw down a rope?
I imagine I have to tie some ropes together because 90
Well, you
feet
have-
is longer than.
You have the pitton, so you can get up there and put that in. Drop. I mean, how much rope you got?
Piton.
Piton.
I mean, I've got
I don't-
I've got
I
pins
don't
in a
know
rope.
what that is.
Okay.
Pitton.
It's like a climbing tool.
Sounds-
It's like you hammer it into rock
And you
Oh,
run
okay.
your line through it.
and you run your rope through it. So if you fall, that's where you stop at, and then you climb higher and
Gotcha.
do another one. And climb higher.
Oh, I've
It's just like
seen Dawn Rising.
Okay.
What's it called?
Nice.
The Dawn Wall.
Dawn rising.
Whatever.
Rising.
Whatever.
Okay, so we have two 50-foot lengths.
Saddle up. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm
that
fine.
you can
First light.
easily tie those together. That's not.
I can't see though.
Yeah, what do
No.
we do about that?
Well, you can either.
And I can't
Cast
fly
light.
while holding something.
I have
to be holding
dancing
my cloak.
lights. Can I dance my lights
Very
up there for
specific.
you?
You could, but as soon as you. I mean,
I know. I don't.
here's how I see it. If you react quickly enough, he's on the other side of this giant chamber. So if you move quickly, he may not be able to get to you in time. But if you start throwing lights and stuff, he's certainly going to move, like try to get you. So it might just be like just by the skin of your teeth, but it will be like a moment. You know what I mean? If you try to do it that way. Alternatively, you can fly 40 feet. If you go real slowly, he might change position if you like fly up to the wall and then kind of guide yourself up in the darkness.
Okay.
But you know,
Is it along the wall? The castle's along the wall.
no, the castle's up on this floating.
Yeah, it's
60
like
feet- 60
I imagine
feet
it's
above
like
this-
in the center of this pitch black room. How
Yeah.
we're gonna hit that.
But I mean, that basically in the center of this room there's a 90-foot pillar or like plateau. So you're trying to get to the top of that. The
That's where
the castle is only 20 feet wide. There's no way you guys can get inside the castle. You're too big.
I can get in the castle.
Not through the doors. The doors are going to be. It's like a.
I can get my arm in there though.
You could get your arm in there for sure.
There's something cool in there. I'm gonna put my arm.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't get inside of it at all, but you're not going to be able. I'm trying to just for scale. You can't walk inside of it.
I was certainly confused as to the size of the
It is-
castle.
it is-
And
it
to
is-
how the castle was positioned in the room. So it's on a pillar, not
So-
floating.
It is floating 60
Above
feet
a
above 60 feet above this mesa that's in the center of this room.
I've got to turn my listening ears on.
Yeah, that's fine. We are in a dome-shaped room. In the middle of this room, about 20 feet away from you, is a slightly inclined wall that this giant thinks just goes all the way to the ceiling because its dark vision is clearly not as deep as hers. So he doesn't even know this stuff is up there. It's just out of his sight line.
Tight.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the other thing too. He only has dark vision 60 feet, so he can see the light across the room.
I'm gonna light a torch and then.
Or not 60 feet,
I
but
feel
you
like
know.
I could hit him with a couple spells to keep him busy for a minute and hurt him while you do your stuff.
So look, let's roll this initiative.
The other thing, remember, is that these chambers echo. So it wouldn't take. You know, there's another giant at least up.
So maybe doing things like tricking him or distracting him would be better than all out like hurting him. Just like
Anyway,
swinging.
I mean, if you attack him, it will take them seconds to get to this room. That's up to you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you also maybe you want to get him on the room so you can kill him.
Yeah,
you
that's
guys,
fair.
you guys deal with it. You deal with the situation however you want to. I have no horses in this race. So if you guys want to, if you want to just go ahead and take care of them because it's safer to just dispatch the stone giants, do that. If you want to try to talk to them, you can definitely try to do that. If you want to try to trick them, that you can do that. If you want to try to sneak by them,
I definitely want to get to the castle, the little castle thing, as sneakily as possible.
Do you have means of getting it down?
Getting the castle down?
Yeah.
I can fly. So I was just gonna fly up there and grab a hold of it and stick my arm.
it's like I said, it's 20 feet tall, 20 feet wide, and you could definitely stick his arm inside of it. It's floating. Basically, the bottom half of it has this metal spike that clearly is you can. With your dark vision, you can even see that it has some sort of it's shifting. There's some
It's
sort
gonna
of,
shock me as soon as I get.
there's energy on it that's obviously causing it to float, and it floats about 60 feet off of that surface. So yeah, I mean, if you want to try to fly up there, I mean, I don't see why she couldn't point you in the general direction.
I have an idea.
Also, you guys can you can whisper talk to each other, so I don't see why you couldn't slowly guide him up there, fly another 10 feet up, now 10 feet to your front, you know what I mean?
You could get up. Yeah.
The longer we stand here and talk, the more likely that guy's going to turn around and start walking this way. So that's.
What if I cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter and we'll get him to crack up about something, and then when the other giants come in, they'll just be like, "Why are you laughing?" And they won't be like, "Who do we need to kill?"
Okay.
You know, they'll just be like, "What's so funny?"
Let's just climb to the top of that pillar, and then I'll fly from there up to the thing, and I'll drop a rope down. Or something. I don't know if I need to drop a rope down.
Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Give me 1 second. Concentration up to a minute.
I have to see it.
You can see within range, 30 feet. Yeah, you have to get pretty close to it. Although I would rule that it wouldn't, if you cast it on it and it didn't know that you cast it on it, it doesn't say anything about knowing that it was affected by a charm spell. So I would probably just think that it was actually
He might never even know that we were here.
he might just think that whatever he was laughing at was funny.
Yeah.
Or that it was a strange happenstance. But yeah, you'd have to get all the way up to it, which would be very dangerous.
Can I cast it through an arcane eye?
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay.
Unless Arcane Eye stipulates that you can use it too.
I was gonna say it just helps me see things.
Yeah, I don't think you gotta be a bad guy to do something like that.
You gotta be a bad guy to be able to do cool shit.
That's an action. You can move it. You can receive. That's a good question, Tara. That is a damn good question. No, Jimmy,
I can't
shut up.
see him, but I could.
Let me just. Hurricane. Shut up.
Whoa.
You shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. No,
Shut up.
you're right. No, you're actually right. Yeah, it.
I totally get that may not be a thing you can do, because that's casting 2 spells at the same time. Basically.
I think you can, as long as it's not a concentration spell.
For real?
Yeah, because Arcane Eye, within range, it has its own range. You're
Right.
only 30 feet away from it, so you have to like cast the eye, and then you'll have to move it up so it's within 30 feet.
Yeah.
The easier way would probably be to have a familiar. That would be the more direct way to do what you want to do. But yeah, I think.
Why aren't you a cat?
But what's
I
the
knew
what's
I
the
would
what's the
miss
other?
that
You want
feline one
to
day.
cast another concentration spell though. So you can't have. You have to end one spell when you start another concentration spell.
Right.
There's no.
It
other
wouldn't
way.
work for Tasha's City.
Yeah, it wouldn't work
I
for
gotcha.
Dodge City Slapper. But I don't. Yeah, yeah, sure. That seems like a cool trick.
It is a cool trick. Have
Yeah.
a hero point.
I may cash in hero points to make that happen later. He's not gonna say it because you said it.
I'm ruining
It's your fault I don't get one.
You'll never get any hero points. Nobody's getting hero points.
You ruined it.
Nobody's getting anything ever again.
Okay. Well, that was just
Except a headache.
a fun question.
Oh shit! How'd you
Can
do
my
that?
mage hand do it? No,
How'd you do that?
mage hand doesn't see anything. I have an unseen servant. That doesn't. He can't see things.
You're just yelling spells you have now. I'm gonna ask the wizard to put her spellbook away until she has a constructive plan.
I gave you both my plans.
I think
They were pretty damn good
They were
ones
good plans.
too.
They're good
He's
plans.
gonna come and get
You can have a
us.
hero point.
No, I don't want it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm not gonna
That's
do that.
fine, I guess.
No, I want it.
I want to chill touch him because the range on it's 120 feet, and then it's gonna do. It's just gonna make him not able to regain hit points, and then use that as my quicken spell cantrip, and then cast the sickening radiance on him because chill touch isn't a concentration, and that one is, and to maintain the sickening radiance on himself cause levels of exhaustion,
That'd be dope.
and that's range is 150 feet.
So,
And you can see it.
sweet.
Basically, he's just gonna go. Oh.
Great.
Not know to even leave the area.
Cool.
Just fall.
All right. Yeah, you can do that from where you're standing right now. As you can see his back. He's like bent over. He's been scooping at an area. He's looking at rocks. At one moment, yeah, you just send the ghostly hand, and it just kind of like pushes through the air silently behind him, and just like grabs a small chunk of his flesh because he's so big. And what kind of save?
It's not a save. It's a ranged
It's a
spell
ranged
attack.
spell attack. Yeah, go for it.
I made a nat 20.
Oh,
Point.
go for it. That's awesome.
So at 5th level, it changes to 2d8, so that would be 4d8.
Uh-huh. That's correct. That is correct, sir.
And the church said,
I'll
"Oh,
go up at, at level 11 as well.
Lava.
Oh, llama.
Level 10.
Get.
Poor giant."
14.
Yeah, I had some giants.
And now it can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to cast Sickening Radiance on it, which needs to make a con save.
I'll do that.
Mean spell.
Con save. What's your spell save?
17.
It succeeds.
Roll it again.
Oh, damn, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Eat it, DM.
Oh my god.
So does that also double the die? If you nat 1 fail?
Good question.
Roll a d4 though.
Mayor, she has luck points, and so she gets to make her
4.
enemy re-roll d20s.
You can. How many die is that normally?
4d10.
You can make it 6d10.
Fuck.
And you take a level of exhaustion.
How's that?
Take that stone,
Oh my God.
giant.
Oh, this poor guy. So he took 14
Kinda
damage from the
wondering.
first round,
Immediately.
correct?
But she crushes with that spell. That spell is doity. I like that she uses her high level spell slots early.
Yeah. She doesn't have spell
Got
slots.
balls.
You need more
I
d10?
have mana points
She
now.
says mana points.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's fine.
She's just built to do this. This is we slightly tweak sorcerer so that she has a more consistently like mid-range power output, so that it's like wizard does a lot going up this way, and then sorcerers kind of go like here. They like function here, and then warlocks do that thing where they go bam, 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 bam.
I like
So all the classes feel a little bit different.
30 radiant damage, and then.
Jeez.
It feels very.
And that's persistent, right? So you're
That's a
concentrating on it. Oh my god,
Cool. Yeah.
yeah. And when this radiance of 30 radiance, the room lights up with this greenish greenish light. Yeah, he has a level of exhaustion. He takes a ton of fucking damage. Good god. Okay. Yeah, he's shocked. He does not know what's going on. We're going to go ahead and say that he's surprised because he was just looking at rocks. So how that will work in our new initiative is that he just will not get to use his interrupt points, and he won't get to take a turn in this. I mean, we'll go to his turn and then for his status effects and stuff, but he won't get to take his action like normal. But he won't get to use his interrupt points. All right. Well, that was your first turn. Do you have anything else you can do?
What did he just invent?
No.
We did it on Thursday.
Oh yeah, sorry, you were not here for that. So this is from a thing I found online. This thing I found from a thing online, Jimmy, and it's just like popcorn. It's called Active Initiative, and it's just like she started this by doing a thing. So we're just gonna go narratively, and then she gets to pick who comes next. She just is like, oh, you go next. You can interrupt by spending a hero point. I want to go next, or like she has a big spell. You guys are all figuring out who wants to do something. It's kind of democratic. Like you all can kind of choose, or one person can be like, bam, let me go right now and cast my fireball or whatever, or let me do the thing.
Sneak attack.
Or I want to do a character thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my interrupt point and go be an asshole, you know. Or if you get hit, at the end of that turn, you can interrupt the order and go, like, if some monster hits you, you can go, I'm going to take my turn.
That is very cool.
I have interrupt points equal to the number of players per encounter, and that allows my monsters to jump up in initiative to do something. But then once they're gone, then I just have to wait until basically they go at the end of initiative. Or I can force a roll. That's the only other thing is that I can try to reposition, like take a turn to like roll my initiative to try to. But, anyways,
I love that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love a good tweak.
it's fun, and it like this is just we didn't have to roll anything. She just gets to do that because that's what she's planning to do. And who do you want to go next?
I'll let him start climbing.
All right.
Or
So
for-
now there's
sorry.
light in this space, so you can fly. You can't use your. I don't think you can use your bonus action
I
dash
don't think I can.
when you're flying.
I don't.
You can double action. You can action dash and use your full 6 seconds.
No, that seems fair. I don't
yeah,
think that I don't think that my bonus action, like quick feet, movement speed or whatever, applies to this magic.
That's what I'm saying, but because I think it's all about skill and about dexterity. So, but yeah, so you can go. It's 40 feet.
40 feet.
Okay, we'll just say you can just get up there because it's 90 feet, so it's 10 feet. We'll just say for the narrative's sake, you just woof, and then like maybe you stop flying and you just let the inertia
Yeah.
get you that extra 10 feet, and then you just kind of tuck and roll.
Okay.
Throw out the pitten. I'm not making you make a check. You just dink, 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 put it in, and you guys
Magic
now
House
have.
doesn't kill me? I'm just so surprised that I just turned into.
Do what?
I was just kind of internally afraid that this magic house was going to do something.
You're still kind of far away from it, so now that you're up there, you realize that it's 60
I'm
feet.
on the pillar.
Yeah, you're on the pillar.
Okay.
Yeah, the rope is not long enough for you to get all the way up to the thing. You'll have to, at the very least, get everyone up there and then undo it and use the rope again. But with that, you've got the rope up there. Anything else you want to do? You use your action. You got a bonus action. I think the bonus action fast hands to do the thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you can do on your turn, but you can do it all in one turn. So yeah, he just zips up there, tucks, rolls,
That was crazy.
and Selah, you're just holding on to the other end of the rope on this side.
He may have stayed right by them.
You're all right by each other still. She did that. She has such range. She attacked it from the other end. It doesn't know what attacked it.
It actually couldn't see us if we lit.
Right now, it could potentially see you, but you're on the thing again. So because of the height level, as long as you don't peek over the side, it's unlikely that it could actually perceive you.
Okay.
I want them to go up the rope, and then I'm gonna cover them as they climb the rope.
Okay, cool.
If in case it does see us.
Okay.
Because you can climb while concentrating, right?
Yeah. She can do anything she wants. She just can't cast another concentration spell while she's concentrating. So if you guys want to make me some acrobatics checks or some athletics checks, you guys can shimmy up the rope. It's kind of a climb until it gets to enough of that thing that it's you or you're doing strength based, but if you're doing dex, you're kind of like got your legs around it and you're kind of
15.
cool.
Acrobatics?
Yeah.
17 acrobatics.
Nice. Meryl just ties her mage prestidigitation, ties the dress up. Your fluffy dress.
Just kind of
Just
like
like
ties
wraps over.
itself.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. All right.
I saw that on Amazon Prime the other day, and I almost started binging that just for old times.
I can't even remember what that show's about. I know it's about a woman named Dr.
I
Quinn,
think she's just like.
and I know she's a medicine woman.
She's literally just like a prairie doctor, and I think it's her life on the prairie, her being a doctor in this town.
Well, why don't they just call her doctor then? Not
What?
like medicine woman. Is it weird that she's a woman practicing medicine? Isn't
It's
that
There's a
not
Native
modern
American
day.
flair.
No. It's like Old West, right?
Yeah, I think there's like a Native American thing going on.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't just help the
White people.
white people.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, she's helpful to everybody.
That's why she has two names.
Right.
Dr.
I think her
Quinn
boyfriend is.
and medicine.
Well, that shows you how little I know about Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. But I also know that it was. I think when I was a child, I thought that was also Touched by an Angel. I thought they were the same show.
Yes. Is it just because they
I like
came on?
that.
They're not. I know
They're
they're
not.
very
that.
different.
Together?
They're not the same show. You're right.
Huh?
They just came on close together or something.
Touched
At
by an
those
Angel.
shows.
Yeah, they were like on the same channel.
Uh huh.
Your camera keeps getting reset.
Cut down on sad
Yeah, I keep
faces.
having to like reboot
What?
in on
Cut
you.
down on sad faces.
It's not you. It's the.
That broke my heart. I was just trying to consolidate trash. I should have removed it from
It's all good.
Tricked me.
the burn.
A burn. Okay, so you get up there. 15. What did you roll? Whenever you said you already told me you get.
17.
Okay. Now, do you want to just like take the rope and like rappel strength walk up?
Yeah, I have athletics.
Okay. Make me a stealth check to get across the ravine without clunking about the place. Because right now he has no idea where you guys are, and you've all snuck up out of his sight lines. So the only thing that can give him away is you going across this 10-foot space of all this broken bone and broken shell and stones and stuff. So you gotta like, or you can make me a stealthy leap. Stealthy leap. You can't make a stealthy leap.
I'll just try stealth.
Okay.
7.
All right. So you slosh over there, and
Crunch over there.
and you hear the stone giant in its native tongue wail something and kind of whip around. It can't see you because of the curve of this space, but it thinks it heard something on the other side. No one speaks giant, so no one knows what it's saying. Go ahead and make me an athletics check to scurry up that wall.
Scurry, scurry.
28.
All right, cool. You start to climb up the wall.
Ooh,
and
girl, you strong.
he starts to clamber over. I know we're kind of like stretching the time limits on these things happening because technically your climb speed is supposed to be like half of blah blah blah. But
Well, not mine.
But he's kind of going around, and as he's looking, Sayla, you're still kind of getting up there, but well, no, he doesn't even move yet because he gets up, and as he gets up to move, it's his he doesn't even get a turn because he's surprised. Yeah, so he's still like he whips around, but he's still like in the same space. He's like looking around, like where do I go? Where are they? Let me at them. And I'll go ahead and say that unless you guys want to continue to engage him, if you want to continue to maintain your spell on him, you can. But if you want to, you guys are all up on the top of this mesa and could remove yourself from combat because it doesn't know where you went.
Okay.
So if you want to end the spell, you can.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, why not? I'm just gonna stay up here for 6 rounds. Out of sight. And it's dead, right?
Yeah, I mean, it will. It's gonna move. I mean, you'll have to. It will,
But it can't see this high up.
no, you can't see this high up. No.
Yeah. So, why not just like stay up here for just a little bit and.
Yeah. So if you want to maintain it on his turn, he will not take an action, and he has to make a con save. What's your spell save? 17. He fails.
Dope.
He fails it.
So now speed's halved. Danny's got disadvantage on ability checks.
Awesome.
Cool.
And he takes some damage, right?
I think.
Like half the amount.
I thought it was 40-10 again.
Oh yeah, 40-10. It's a nice.
It's a groovy spell.
Yeah,
Ugly.
I guess it is. Another full round of damage.
Yeah. Dang it, Jinga. All right, go ahead and deal that beautiful beam footage.
Magic sorceress.
22. And then I'm actually gonna sorry, hold please. I have the meta magic empowered spell, which lets me re-roll a damage die.
Oh yeah. Give me that extra.
Worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell me the difference. So I've already calculated it.
28.
Okay.
No, sorry, 27.
What?
27.
Okay.
Radiant damage.
Nice. Jesus. Wow. Okay, so that's his turn. He's kind of getting his wits about him. That was his first. No, that's your turn. Sorry. Yeah.
That was another level of exhaustion, right?
No, yeah, that was just him getting up.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. So now it's your turn.
He didn't get another level of exhaustion?
No, he does. He does. It's on his turn that those things happen.
I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm literally just gonna let the spell run its course.
Yeah. Well, then he on the second round of it happening to him, he gets up and he's going to move out of the space because it does create a glow. He can tell where the magical effect is, and he's going to take off opposite direction.
Well, his speed is halved.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not, he's just hobbling. I mean,
Okay.
But I mean, it's a 60-foot sphere, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know how far he could get.
Yeah,
so.
he can.
Yeah, he's big, so
5
his
steps.
strides are big. So if he's going even half his speed, he's still and he kind of hobbles out of the space. And since you'll have to I don't think you can. Can you move it?
I
don't think you can move it.
Yeah. Point and choose. With
Yeah. So and if you were to engage him with any other spells, you popping up could reveal yourself, which you could do. You could roll a stealth and then try to tag him with a Eldritch Blast, or same for any of you guys if you want to use a ranged attack
I'm all
on him.
for just
Yeah, my range
Or if
is
you-
doubled.
Or if you just want him to run away. But he's definitely going to run off towards whoever else lives with him here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
we could probably,
Should we attack him or?
but at this point we might just be able to get this thing and leave this room
Yeah, it's just
Before
do
he-
y'all think it's worth it or not?
for this lumbering.
Let's try it. If we have to fight, we'll fight. But
And as you guys
we
look
can try
down,
it.
he's already gone.
Okay, cool.
I fly up to the thing.
What?
I fly up to the thing.
Okay, cool.
The thing
Well, as soon as you get within.
fall damage.
I'll catch it.
As soon as you get within, you start flying up. As soon as you get within 50 feet of the thing, He flies in front of you guys, and as soon as he gets within 50 feet of it, all you see is him go, and he shrinks.
What?
Like, and he keeps flying up. Nothing happens. There's no save. You're not hurt. But he's
just like
Even tinier.
So when you get
He is-
in its aura, maybe it shrinks.
He
you
is now
to its
1/12
size?
of his original size.
Oh wow!
So
Now
he
you're like a
is.
little fairy.
He's about 3 inches tall right now.
Oh my gosh, how cute!
He's just like,
Oh,
He's like-
cherry cheese.
and,
like my speed just went.
and as you
I'm just
look,
like,
yes, and as you look at it,
Cherub.
it's so far away.
Yeah, it's like.
You're like, oh god, and he starts flying, and as he flies, it's like, I'm going,
You
full
can
speed
do
ahead.
How high up are we? The rest of us?
You're all there with him,
I
and
hope I
relatively,
get big
it's only
again.
60 feet away from you. But now that he's 3 inches tall, it's 12 times the length in his perspective.
Because time and speed is
Because
relative
yeah,
to
because
my
your size.
size.
Yeah.
So it goes from like 60 feet to like 3 miles.
Very far away. Looks like it's floating in the sky.
You guys are even
but
further
for
away. I
perspective,
probably can't even see you
yeah,
guys
This is
anymore.
cursed. I think it's just a magic item. I don't know how to. I mean, I can try it.
what is it?
She said, I suggested casting remove curse on this, but I don't know if it's cursed.
On the castle?
Yeah,
Well, no, on Jimmy.
on Jimmy.
I mean, I need to be able to get in the house apparently.
I mean, do you want to go back? Do you want to fly back towards
Oh,
them?
is that an option? I was just gonna go.
Yeah,
get
you can fly.
whatever
You're
you
just flying. You can do whatever you want.
want. I know.
Keep
I
flying.
feel like I'm just like
Keep investigating.
yeah.
Can I see
Like this isn't like a roadblock. This is just like a small.
Yeah, does anyone else want to try it out and get close to it?
Who can fly? You guys
can't
can
fly?
I
teleport?
can't fly,
You
but
can
I'd love
teleport.
to. Well, it makes me trade places with someone,
Oh.
so I could switch places with you.
If
But
you
I'm
switch
not gonna
places
do
with me
that.
now, you're just gonna fall.
Yeah, because I can't fly,
Mm-hmm.
and
Vote
and
on
you need
me
to go in there.
flying towards the whatever. Or
Yeah,
not,
I think you
guys.
should keep going.
You guys,
I
you guys
assumed
are.
it was a thing that was
you can
gonna
talk to him.
happen.
He can still hear you. You just like,
Hey guys,
Yeah.
man.
and from your perspective, it's just a
here.
little bit
Cherry
more like this.
treats.
You said he
Are
was
you-
60 feet away?
Cherry treats.
He's only-
Are you
He's only like
okay?
15 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna gust him.
Yeah, help him out.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
To get him closer to the castle.
Yeah, and when you do that, you tumble up.
That's
But
great.
you're able to get in control of it. That's fun. Have a hero point.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and you
I'm just terrified. I'm gonna be like,
and like
Up
a
against the bottom of the
flying
town.
squirrel, you kind of let out the little mana ray cloak, and you kind of like, and 720 feet distance is what our patron
Mayor
says how
says.
far away that is at that scale.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a hero point.
But you're
Jimmy.
tiny, so it's like.
So you land up there. Boom. Roll an acrobatics check to see how gracefully you
I feel
land.
like I definitely need to. Acrobatics. An 11.
Ooh, yeah, nice. You little tuck and roll, and you're up there just fine. There is the one thing you notice is the acrobatics is to get inside, because as you get it close, he's like, oh, there's no patio, there's no steps, there's just
oh no, I gotta hit
there's
the
just
hole.
door. There's a door,
You can
and
do it.
you just kind of brace with your feet, and you're able to kick the door open
Okay.
as you like roll into the room.
I feel like that scene in the new Star Trek, or that one of the Star Trek movies.
Let's see. Inside the castle.
That's some nerdy shit.
So, as you go inside this space, this main room, Del, you notice that it is dark. Do you have a torch or anything?
Actually.
Yeah, so you pull out a torch and you light it. That reveals a room with 4 pillars, 4 columns. Each of the columns have a little potion or like an oil vial with a little cork. It's like a lavender. Well, you can't really tell us you're looking at a torch, so it's all shades of red. But there's 4 of these like jars sitting, and then you notice in the room that there are like cockatrice feather dusters floating through the room, dusting the wall. And there is a bucket and a mop on the other side of the room that's just like
Gosh,
it's
dang.
like
It's like
cleaning
a
its
Beauty and the
space.
Beast thing.
Yeah.
Fantasia style.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate that shit.
And other than that, that's not really much going on. And then there is another door that leads to the next area, but this is like a foyer. So you're just like in the foyer of this place.
It's being cleaned.
Yeah.
Relaying this information.
Oh, be very careful. You may find things quite treacherous in there.
How are you guys gonna get up there?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Can I drop a rope down? Or is it gonna be...
You don't have a long enough rope.
It's gonna be like...
Yeah, it's
Oh my god, that's funny.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we try to throw one up and it just gets.
It just shrinks.
Yeah, as soon as you throw
Well,
it
I
in there,
can't fly.
it's a thread, and then it falls past, and then as it goes on the other side of like the mesa, it just.
I can't fly.
So there's
know.
and if you do throw that rope like that, it would reveal a little bit. You would see that there's like a dome of energy of like magic that is.
Can I jump that high?
I feel like you would be able to like
Maybe
climb,
with a jump spell, yes. Let's
maybe
see.
like climb up and around and fall down onto the house.
My jump distance
Nobody has
is
spider
triple.
I do.
You can cast
Oh.
spider climb. Should try that.
My jump distance is
That's a long ways to fall.
30.
Especially.
Can I
in
jump
your
90
tiny
feet?
little fucker.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you. How tall is your character?
5'9".
And
No, I can only do one of those at a time. It's concentration.
what's your strength
Well,
score?
I guess I could touch you. What would you
14.
get over there?
And you are using the spell jump.
Touch her. I go there.
You can jump with a running start. Your high jump is 15 feet off the ground. Your long jump is 42 feet horizontally. So no, you cannot jump 60 feet in the air.
Theoretically,
Well, you can't jump 15 feet plus 700 and...
Plus the 3 extra miles
Right.
too.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. You're gonna have enough.
Yeah, what happens when I get small? I can't.
Theoretically, could I touch Sayla with spider climb? Let her climb up to the ceiling, fall, turn small, land on the roof or whatever, go inside. Because it's a concentration lasts for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
the ceiling is further up than your dark vision can even reveal. That's how high
Okay.
it up. So how high it is. So
Spider climb wouldn't be very helpful.
well, he get all the way up there, but the jump from the ceiling to
Could kill him.
could kill him.
Do you have feather fall?
I don't.
I want to cast
Sit on here.
Find Steed and
Nice.
summon a Pegasus.
Yeah!
What level are you?
I'm level 10.
10. Do you have Find Greater Steed?
No.
That's what summons Pegasus is.
Damn it!
If they hadn't released the spell, I would have maybe said yes, but it's a thing now.
Greater Steeds and Zany's, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's a cool spell. I'm pretty
Pretty
sure
it is
Caleb-
Find Greater Steed.
What?
It's probably 5th
It is a level 4 spell.
level. Alright, well, it was worth a shot.
What's your spell level max right now? 3?
3.
When do you get level 4?
I think level 12.
I'm just gonna stay here. Can I cast Arcane Eye and just follow Del around?
If
Is that
you
how that works?
yeah, you cast the Arcane Eye, so burn the spell slot. You're burning your spell slots, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you push the magic eye into the shrinking field, it dispels the magic.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
take a
still walking
break.
around looking, right? Maybe I entered the next room at this point.
It is locked. The door's locked.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I use my thieves' tools.
Go ahead
Damn,
and
I
pick one.
wasted a 4th on a
Can we take a
spell.
break?
Come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We're gonna take a break. We'll form a plan. We'll be right back.
BRB, boy.
So frustrating. There's Kaelin with the Rod of Lordly Might. That might
Oh, no.
reach.
potion. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Bam. All right, we're back. We're gonna explore a little
And
more of this.
we're back.
Okay, so what's tricks? What are we doing? You
we haven't talked.
rolled me a sleight of hand to open the door, correct?
To open that door.
Did we ever resolve that?
No, we did not.
You just want to roll it again?
Yeah.
You guys have any magic that will let you?
Get up there,
Yeah.
in there. I can't fly, so if I get when I shrink in that little aura, I don't know how to like sustain.
You can fly?
No, I
Oh.
can't. So I don't know.
Well, you can't get up there without being able to fly, anyways.
Yeah.
So she's saying.
So no.
Okay.
So if she jumped or fell or whatever, however she would get up there.
So no, I don't have any magic that will help me.
Okay. I was basically just asking if you can fly or not.
No, I can't fly.
I was just asking.
I didn't take that spell.
Well.
I like it. I rolled a 23 to open the door. Expertise. Yeah, I was looking at the camera.
Nice. I can't figure out how to get up there.
Remember that weighted
Maybe I
cap
should try to
you
figure
gave
out a way to
me?
get it down.
With it?
Remember that weighted cap you gave me?
Maybe.
I
That had-
recall it, but I don't remember what it does.
I think it's just heavy or something.
Might be heavy enough to get the
I think.
thing down.
I don't know.
I think maybe it gives you advantage on being knocked over.
I'm not being.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Oh, well. You can write it down. Doesn't do anything now.
Yeah,
You
dude,
know.
shit.
What does this
you.
heavy hat do again?
Some other
Does it help
adventurer
me
found
fly?
it.
So you open the door.
Does it help me fly?
Maybe.
It is, yeah, it's still dark and all of here. You see the walls, though, upon inspection, have glass bricks built into them. And inside the bricks, you can see there's some sort of mechanism that you assume that these are lights of some sort. So if you can find the switch, you can probably turn on lights in this place.
Okay.
Pass
I'll be
through a
looking
stone
around.
hallway.
Me still walking?
And when you roll me a d4. We're gonna flip a coin.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Fuck. When I flip a coin, nothing good ever happens for me. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure I
Elle
was
has
looking.
very bad luck.
As soon as you open the door, you kind of you like look and you look up, and right behind the doorway, as if kind of making the rounds, trying to inspect the place, hearing a disturbance, is a creature. I'll show you what it looks like.
Brace yourselves.
This building is proportional to my size.
Yeah. So now you're inside this place. Everything looks like it's sized to you.
With a normal sized bugbear.
Actually, with
Hobgoblin.
a relatively speaking to you, a large size, even though he's not large. I like the way they did these conversions. Basically, it all treats it like you're a normal size character. So anytime it tells me in relation to you being tiny, it's all about with the normal numbers. So it just makes everything bigger. It doesn't make you actually smaller. It just calculates the stats of everything being much, much larger.
Tell me what it is, please.
This guy.
Oh my god, I can't.
Tell me what's about to
This guy.
take at least one of my 7 remaining lives.
Yeah.
This guy.
Oh.
Oh.
This
How many HP does it look like it has?
Enough.
it's large comparison to you, so it's a size, two size
Oh, he don't
categories.
try to eat me.
It looks down at you,
That's a
and
mouth. That's a
it
mouth
kind of
on that
lets
man.
out a little like throaty like sound. It's not quite a roar. It seems to lack any of the instrumentation that a biological organism needs to make sound with its vocal. Like it doesn't have any of that stuff, so it just kind of wheezes at you. And kind of blankly like blinks its eyes and then like tries to grab the door and close it. It closes the door on you. We'll cut back down to the mesa. You guys are all looking around like, how do we get up there? Roll me a perception.
That's a positive reaction in my opinion.
11.
You notice beneath this floating figure, there is a pile of bones. People that have fallen to their deaths from falling off of the outside of the building. Clearly just turned big right before they hit the ground. So they'll have enough time for the weight.
50 feet.
It's about 10 feet, so they fall away, and the book tells me exactly how far it is. Falling from Agnes Castle.
A 50-foot
You'll
fall.
travel
You're like,
over 600 relative
that
feet.
hurt, but you're like actually
Over
falling.
600 feet.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then suddenly growing 12 times bigger, the final 10 feet before impact.
That's
I bet it looked
60
really
D6.
far away the whole time until you're all of a sudden
Until
you're
you're there, and then it's just like...
Oh my god. That's a nightmare.
In these bones, you notice these are long dead adventurers, and when you look at them, Meryl kind of saunters over, looking at your find, and you notice that they're wizards, the both of you. These are specifically wizards. They have all the... You see a few wands, nothing magical, but there's just like they're carrying a bunch of like adventuring gear that wizards would have. Their spell books are missing, so there's no hidden spells there. One of them is wearing a ring, looks like a tarnished copper ring that wouldn't catch your eye, except that you notice that it's like
Above.
it's like the only thing. Like over here, there's a skeleton. It's like this.
Yeah. So Spider-Clown will get me up that little mesa.
Oh, you're already up there.
Oh.
Yeah, you're on. This is the plateau that you guys are
Okay,
on. Yeah.
cool.
So you just walk over. It's just like underneath. It's really close to the spire, and as you get close to it, you guys can't even try to touch the metal part of this thing that's floating. It goes all the way down, basically only inches off the ground. It's a very long spike, but it has some sort of magic that keeps you from. You can't even touch it if you wanted to. She's grabbing a magic ring. What do you want to do?
I was gonna see if I could cast Speak with Undead.
You can. That I think takes more than. I think that takes like a minute to cast. How long does that take to cast?
I will look.
Figure that out.
I can cast it.
You grab the ring.
Yeah.
You grab the ring, and
That's big enough.
nothing advantageous happens. But as soon as you pull it off the skeleton's hand, the skeleton's hand falls down, like it crumbles. Just an old skeleton. The ring definitely hums with a magical.
Yeah,
magical
I
energy.
feel like with this newfound greediness as well, I just slid that baby right on.
And when you do, you
Did you find a ring? I like that you just slid it on. That's very cheeky of you.
Mm-hmm. It's my ring.
Did it do anything to you?
That's
Oh,
what
it does.
We're finding out.
it requires attunement.
Mm-hmm.
So we can consider this a short rest if you guys want to. Well, I guess we can't do that because I'm going to say it doesn't require attunement. This is a special ring of flying.
That's how that guy
right.
got up there to fall down.
So you got, yeah.
Don't do that.
You
I wonder why his ring of flying didn't work.
because it only has flying for up to 4 hours, and you can use it in bursts. So it has a certain amount that it can do until it runs out, and it requires it gets 2 hours of flying back every 12 hours. You don't use it, so it just like slowly recharges. And as it does, its luster kind of grows back. So you can see that this ring ran out of energy and has not been able to regain any because it doesn't have like a living person. So, so if you spend, I'm sorry, it's tarnished, but you can tell it has a little bit of fly speed left in it, but not enough to like. It's recharged a little bit, being dormant. Forget the thing I said before. So it's got a little bit of flight left in it. You can probably fly up to the thing with it.
But just me.
Yeah. 4 hours, several flights, minimum of 1 minute duration. So even if you fly for a few seconds, it counts as 1 minute of flight. When you are flying and the duration expires, no, I'm gonna change that. Yeah, you drop. You just fucking drop. That's funnier. That's how this guy died. He just ran out of. He's like, I've got it. Whoa.
Oh no, I've shrunk.
You probably have about 10 minutes of flight left in it. And you can carry, I'm going to say because it's got this timer on it, you can carry up to 500 pounds. So you could carry the whole team probably if everybody was grabbing onto each other and you had magic in it.
Also, question: does Mage Hand around this shrink as well, or is it just physical beings?
She kind of discovered that any
Magic
kind of like conjuration spell or any spell that produces a magical effect will not translate. Instead, will just be dispelled. So if you cast a spell that
So theoretically, could I throw, or could Sayla jump into the space that shrinks her, and then use Mage Hand to lift
Catch her
in
as she
place?
falls.
Or lift in place around the building.
Yeah.
Because
if
it
you
holds up to 5
if
pounds,
you
and that size
if you
would be less
if you
effective.
get inside if you get shrunk and cast Mage Hand, it's gonna make a tiny Mage Hand. If you cast Mage Hand outside the
Before
space
I
and
go
try to
up.
put it inside of it, it will dispel it.
Okay.
Oh, oops.
It just will the magic effect ceases. But you guys could all grab each other's hands and probably fly up on it. No
Yeah.
problem.
Okay, let's do that then.
I set a trap outside that door and walk away.
I would love to.
So you're just in this foyer, so you put it right behind you, set the trap, and there's still the ghost servants. They're sweeping and mopping. One of them kind of mops like your face a bit.
I peed on the thing
The trap. Yeah. So if you ignore it, it just does it for a second and then goes back to cleaning something else. Doesn't seem to bother you. Well, yeah, the mop bucket when it comes around is kind of like at first kind of like pokes at it, and then like you see the mop bucket actually like sits down and like gets pushed to the side, and then you see that the trap is actually getting lifted and starting to get set, and as it moves, it snaps. There are like unseen servants that are
cleaning up.
yeah. So
I'm gonna take my trap from the stupid unseen servant.
yeah. When you grab the trap from the unseen servant, it wants to roll its initiative with you, so go ahead and roll initiative.
21.
I think there are stats for this thing.
Fucking guys on that dime for unseen servants.
Stab the piss.
What's augury again?
You can kind of see the future.
You can ask a spell and see if it's if it's a good choice or a bad choice. Kind of if I do this.
It's like a 50
what did you
yes or
roll?
no thing.
Gotcha.
On your initiative.
21.
Also, new house rule: you can add when you're rolling up a character, you can factor their intelligence for your initiative instead of just their dex. You can pick because sometimes the quick mind is making
I like
pull
that.
the strings.
Very cool. Because the wizard should be perceptive and would notice danger. You know?
So yeah,
Not
I
just-
don't have to be fast with my feet.
the trap, it picks up the trap and it hurls it at you like take your damn trap and get out of here.
I did. I will.
And when it does that, it doesn't actually do you any damage. You're able to just
Sure.
grab your trap.
Sure.
You see all the other feather dusters, all the other moving
They
things,
stop.
they all stop, and then all the bottles that are on the table all get tipped over. Just as you're seeing all this happen, through the door, a whole string of your friends, kind of heroically, one by one, pop, 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 all land. Got a magic ring, no big deal. What's going on in here? And you're like, and you guys don't know that there's a room full of invisible servants tipping over these vials.
And how much time do I have?
You can dive and grab any one of these bottles that you'd like. I won't make you make a check. I'd say that you're dexterous enough, and you dive and you can dive.
Maybe try to catch one and keep it from falling over.
You try to catch it, and you slide and you catch it, and you're like, I got it. And as you look over, you guys all in slow motion connect. Oh, we should. Shit. And they all crack. And nothing happens.
I'm holding one of them.
Yeah, you're holding one of them.
What
Just
do you-
kidding. Make a Constitution save. It just didn't have a smell. It didn't have a vaporous form. So you guys were like, oh, okay. Oh no, it's silent and deadly. Con save, please.
Anybody rolling that one? You're a nat one rolling son.
Hmm?
I said you're a nat one roller.
No, I didn't roll in that one. I have
Oh.
advantage.
Good for you. How close are you guys? Do you guys have advantage on your con save?
I'm good.
I have 16.
Okay. Well, I hope I didn't just kill everyone.
17.
What did you roll?
I'm okay. Con 22.
Ooh.
23.
Nice. You guys just boom, fall over unconscious.
What?
And you guys can almost you take a level of exhaustion as well, and because you didn't fall asleep, you can like instantly like shake them up, and as soon as you slap them, they wake back up. It's just a knockout gas.
Mm-hmm.
Causes you to feel a little worse afterwards.
Still have
And just as that happens,
Homunculus?
You've exhausted.
How do you say that? I never say that.
Homunculus.
I think so. Isn't that what you just said? We have a level of exhaustion.
Not all.
Not all of you.
You two saved.
We saved.
if you
Right.
if you fail
Right.
to save,
Oh, yeah.
if you fail to save, you take a level of exhaustion. All right. Well, then never mind. That was very dramatic. But then once that happens, the unseen servants, being unseen, aren't doing anything, so they don't seem to be in the room, or they are not moving. But the gas, you guys can knock the door open.
There's a big old monster in the room down the way.
It's in the
Is
the
there?
very next room, or there was. Do you guys want to check
How
the door
should
again?
we attack it? Ooh,
It looked
Well,
like
are
that
there other
with
doors up?
feet and hands. Had arms, bat wings.
He describes
let's
it to you.
run in there.
He describes it to you. Roll me an Arcana.
Bat ears.
Bad ears.
17 plus 9 is 20.
So he describes what he describes. It doesn't really ring any bells to you until he describes the way that it tried to mimic speech and how it didn't even seem to be able to make a sound. It's just kind of an airy kind of, like it looked like it was trying to growl or trying to speak, but it couldn't.
Is it dead?
No,
Is it undead?
you know what it is. It's a homunculus. Homunculus. It is a little creature that a wizard makes to help them run their shops. They're normally only about the size of a Furby.
It's a construct.
It's a construct, yeah. It's a construct. The reason it can't make those things, it doesn't have it. The wizard who built it didn't make it so it can speak. It just doesn't have any of that stuff. It's a construct, so it's not a real living creature.
Can we attack a construct?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the specifically, homunculuses are built and they have telepathic links with their wizard owners, and they're used to run operations. So
Who's its
this
wizard?
this homunculus, Magath,
Magath is its
yeah.
wizard.
This homunculus is not effect to the spells, to the shrinking spell, and that's why it looks so big. It's the right size. You guys are just the size of mice. So, yeah, so it actually isn't that big at all. It just looks really big. But unfortunately, all your spells and effects are reduced when you're at this size. So it effectively has, 100 hit points or something, due to the nature of you guys being
I hear you.
this big.
Yep.
So,
And shrinking stuff.
and that's the reason he shut the door on you and didn't just, attack you. He just doesn't want you to come inside. I think that maybe...
Well, now that everyone's here, I drink my growth potion.
Oh. Damn. You There you
You
go.
want to beef that up and take a potion of fire breath with it and do it some full damage?
Potion of what?
Fire breath.
Potion of growth?
What can I give you?
That's an
Let's
Alice
make
in
you a
Wonderland.
Let's
machine.
do these one at a time before you start just chugging.
Oh my god, we're gonna buff you up, little dumb.
Also found
Send
rules
you
for
in there.
toxicity, like taking too
Ooh,
many
cool,
potions.
yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make total sense. Liver failure.
Can I cast the
exists
best
in favor.
defense on someone else, or is that
Ooh,
only
tight.
No, it
myself?
only works on yourself.
Nice idea though, having inspiration.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's what I'm doing. I give out inspiration points. Jake gives out hero
You really
points.
need to be a bard at some point with all this
Yeah,
That's
information
true.
going
You
on.
should be. You could do that.
It's a stupid idea.
We all just grumble agreed, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We need, why doesn't anyone ever play bard? It's basically the grumble.
Yeah.
All right. What it's potion of growth?
Yes, sir.
Is that what I called it?
These-
That's what you named it. I don't know where it came from.
It's a thing.
It's for your heart to grow 10 sizes
right here.
like the Grinch.
Like, yeah.
That's it.
You don't get the strength of
That's something
10
Kimbo needs.
dells plus 2.
I think it just makes me a size larger or something like that. This is like a small hobbit.
Hopefully you
I'm
don't
not
just
sure.
like break through the whole house.
I know.
Hopefully you
I don't.
do.
I know, right? Just like crush this little.
Make it interesting, huh?
All right. So he drinks the potion, pulling off the cork. He's like, "All right, you guys are all here. Check this out." Glub 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 glub. And you're like, "What is that?" You're like, "Is that potion of fire breath?" And you're like, "No, it's a potion of growth." Oh no. And he just like expands and expands and expands and is filling up the entire room.
God,
All of you
God.
guys make a constitution save as he starts to crush you.
Oh no! Oh my gosh.
Can I have your nat 1 ability?
Yes.
Thank you.
19.
Is there another nat 1?
That's another nat 1.
That's crazy.
You have to take that one.
I do.
Roll a d4, please.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
What did you roll?
24.
I just expected myself to grow to like human size. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
our magic is reduced now. Okay.
3.
I also cast shield right now. Boost my AC.
That doesn't help you.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, not with the save?
Well, not in this
No,
moment.
mechanically it doesn't, and it only lasts for a round, right? Or no, it lasts for a minute.
Yeah.
No, that's for a round.
Oh,
Or
it does
that's
for
for a
a
round.
round.
Yeah. I'm just casting spells.
I started casting
Yeah,
this.
and
I started
at this point
casting
you're like
that.
being like pushed. He's like now your hands outside of the front door.
Oh, no.
You guys are gonna take half damage, and you'll take full damage.
I guess I just killed everyone.
Well, when do you stop growing? At some point you'll stop, right?
Well, I'll be.
I don't know how to be like,
I'll
magic,
be human
stop!
sized at some point. I'm assuming since the potion would make me human size. I think I just
see.
assumed it
I
would make
thought
me
there
one
was
size
in
bigger.
between.
than me.
Yeah.
But
17 damage, so 8 damage. You are completely like pinned down, and where he's growing, you're gonna have to make another check in a moment. You might take more damage because you're being pushed up against this like door frame.
Okay.
As you get pushed through, you're now finding that your body doesn't have a place for everything to go, and you're starting to be crushed by this building because
magic house, yeah.
this magic house is impervious to damage.
Of course
It cannot be ruptured, and bones in your body start to break.
No!
And you are going
Dead.
to die.
Yeah.
And when he dies,
What?
another gem and your cat breaks.
What?
You go to 1 hit point instead, and you are now normal sized in relation to everyone else, and you're fine. Everyone is okay.
We had to watch him literally die from crushing himself a million times large.
Yeah.
We had to watch him break his own neck and die.
We all can have a hero point, so you got that going
That
for
was
you.
horrible!
You're like,
That
ah!
was a nightmare, Dill!
You guys are covered in my blood.
No, it is like you. It's like a
Is it
snap.
a reversal?
From our perspective, they're all like being pushed against, so they can't see anything.
Well, at one
and from
point his arm
from
snaps and then our bones stick
from
out.
the viewer perspective,
Yeah.
it's like you're like, no, I'm getting too big, ah, and it's all like closing in on you, and you're like, I can't, and then
Yeah, the house. like the windows and stuff.
And you're just like regular size, and everyone's like on the ground, and like almost instantly, as if you were never that big, the magical effect is undone. The cat statue is a very powerful statue. So you die, you don't actually go to one instead. You die, and then you get your life back.
That's crazy.
That was some Akira style death. That's true. You okay over there?
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm just so annoyed
Christ.
with Dell and myself. I'm sorry if I kill you guys. I'm really trying to like rein it in, but sometimes I'm like, Dell had the idea and like.
No, I love the
Yeah.
idea of popping it open with your body
That's
and
awesome.
like seeing if you can't just like knock the walls down.
That's the idea.
And then just throwing the stuff out the top.
yeah, it was a great
like,
idea.
yeah.
Well, like in Dell's head, he's like, 2 big people. I'm gonna kick this door down. We'll beat this big thing up or whatever. And but Magic House.
Magic.
Stupid.
That's why I gave you that cat.
Magic is so
I gave you a
random.
cat so you could make choices like that. They took a little damage. Everyone's fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
The door is open and the monster is not there, or the homunculus is not there.
He got
Or does he
squished
just
too?
appear? To
I
not
think
be
though
there?
that because of the time and what we have left, I think there's no better place than to start in the front entryway of this mansion. So why don't we go ahead and we'll end the session here. You guys won't get a rest between now and then, but this hallway is clear, and you guys can explore Madagoth's castle, which you can already tell is a weird, creepy place. Lots of weird, creepy things. Some of my favorite some of my favorite items I've ever seen to give away are hidden inside this place. There's one thing in particular that, like, if you guys don't get it, I'm gonna be so bummed. I'm gonna put it in a room.
He's gonna give it to us.
I'm gonna move it around rooms so that you get a chance to see it.
We gotta find it.
I did that with my first group. I wanted them to get this thing that I invented.
Yeah, it's like
Treasure
Yeah.
hunt. Treasure hunt.
I won't tell you what it is, but tune in next week. Also, I think we're gonna start Voidwalker Tuesday, hopefully.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
And thank you so much, Mayor Robin Bobin.
Thank you,
Thank
Mayor,
you,
for being here.
Yeah, you can definitely help the party. You
You're the
always help
best.
the party, Mayor. Yeah, so we'll see you next week.
I'm glad he just didn't like. I'm sorry.
And bye guys.
Bye.
Suck it.
Suck it.